Alright guys, what's going on? Just bringing you a different video today. I'm going to be working on my sister's 2016 Subaru Crosstrek. I'm going to be replacing the brake pads and rotors. So I've already got one side done. What you'll want to start with is going to be a 19mm socket to get your lug nuts off the car. So once those are loose and you have it jacked up, you will come to find that everything is pretty easy to get to. So I've already replaced the driver's side here, and what you're gonna need is gonna be a 19 box end wrench for the top and bottom bolt right here, and then I believe it's a 14mm. You can use a socket or a box end wrench for these, but they're pretty easy. So there's one on the top and one on the bottom here. So I've already got this side replaced. I'm gonna walk you through the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead over here and get these lug nuts off. I've already got them loose before I jacked them up. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, once the wheel's off, you can come here, and I like to start with loosening the two 14mm bolts that hold on the bracket that keeps the caliper in place. So you can take your socket, and as long as you have it oriented the right way, which I have mine tightened, so you need to back it off. Now sometimes it will take a little bit more effort with just one hand, so I do have a rubber mallet here. And once I get these loose, I will go ahead and take my 19mm box end wrench and start working on these bolts there. There's one here and one underneath. So let me get two hands on this and I will show you the next step. So I've got the two 14mm loosened. As you can see, the caliper is still kind of compressed. So in a minute, when I get these bolts off, I'll just kind of tap it with the mallet, since I am replacing the rotors and the pads. Nothing's going to get damaged. So I have the 19mm bolt up here pretty loose, and come down here, and it's going to be, oh, if I could get both hands on it, but that bolt right there. So once that's loose, the bracket that holds the caliper on will be loose, and I will bash it away, and we will prop up the caliper with this, because we don't want it dangling with the brake lines there and causing, you know, something else to happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this loose, hold this up, decompress the caliper, and start replacing the rotors and pads. All right, as you can see, we have our calipers kind of hanging here, not too much pressure pulling on the line. I'll show you how to decompress the caliper here in a second, but as long as nothing is like completely rusted on here, your rotors will easily slide right off. And as you can see, there's not too much surface rust, so if you want to, well, yeah, clearly this is not the original knuckle on here. I think she had her wheel bearings replaced or something. But anyway, you can just pull the rotor right off. So, and then if you come over here, once the bracket comes off, the pads should be able to just come out. Very simple. So yeah, geez Louise, lucky she was able to stop. She's starting to get some nice grooves in the pads, and yeah, so these were definitely ready to go, I'd say. And oh yeah, there's all sorts of wear marks on the rotor, so not too bad, just nice peace of mind. So then once that happens, you can take a piece of wood or something and a C-clamp. Let me go and grab it. I think I left it over here. Got the shop dogs, you know, doing everything they can to help me out. You can take your piece of wood here, place it on the caliper, kind of like this, and you can use your C-clamp here to compress the caliper, because in order to get everything back on, the caliper needs to be compressed. That way when you put the bracket with the new pads on, everything will seat properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and compress this. It's better to do it with one hand than filming. So then I'll show you the orientation of the pads, because we're gonna button everything back up, and that's literally it. All right, so we have the calipers fully compressed. That way they will lock back over the bracket. And your brake kit should come with these steel plates or brackets, whatever you want to call them. They will just hold in the pads a little bit better. So obviously I need to push that down on some more. Sometimes it's not perfect fit, but if you take a look at your old ones, sometimes they might be warped, they could be damaged. So it's not a bad idea to replace them, but most of the time you could reuse these. So now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and spray down the rotor with some brake cleaner. A lot of the times these brakes will be sitting a long time on the shelf, depending on where you get them. So they do have like this slick, oily film on here. So I just like to clean them off with the brake cleaner. Once that's done, put that back on there, and then we will go ahead and put our bracket back on with the 14mm nuts. Then once that's on, you can then put the brake pads. So I'll show you how to do that. I like to put them on after they are mounted to the car. That way they aren't going to be falling out if you try and put them on now as opposed to after everything's on there. So let me get this cleaned up, put on there along with this, and then I will put the pads on and I'll show you the orientation for those. All right, slight correction. I meant to say the 19mm bolt is what will hold the bracket in. The 14s are what go on next with the caliper. So we've got our pads on. Obviously you want to make sure that they are oriented to where the ceramic is touching the rotor. And once the car settles down and the fluid gets back into the calipers, everything will settle itself out. So we have everything on here. These are just hand tight for now until I can get back there and tighten them down. But now I'm gonna put the 14mm bracket on, and that's literally it. Once we get everything torqued down, just throw the tire on, and that is how you change the front brakes on a Crosstrek. I believe the rears are pretty much the same. They do have smaller pads, so make sure if you do get one of these kits, you orient them with the smaller brake pads. So and then the rear, I'm pretty sure there's just a few things that you have to line up when you put this on. So I'm gonna double check before I end the video out, and if I have to do a rear video portion of this, I will add it. So hope you guys enjoyed and that you learned something. I'm gonna go ahead and get working on the rear. All right, on second thought, I'm not done with the video yet. I just wanted to show you guys the rear. There is just a very small difference in things. So when you get to the rear, you're gonna notice that there is this small rubber seal here. All you'll wanna do is prop that out, and that will allow you to adjust the rear parking brake, or if you have the car on all four jack stands like I do, you can go ahead and release the parking brake, and that will allow you to pull off the rear drum, or excuse me, not drum, but the rear rotor, which again is very hard with one hand, but can be done. So I have the rear rotor off, and yeah, and then the only other thing, this top bolt here that holds on the caliper itself is actually going to be a 17mm. So it's not going to be the 19 like the front. It is a 17, so just be aware when you do come to the rear, you can do that. So literally the rest is all the same. I'm going to clean up the rotor, place it on there, get the brake pads out of the caliper, close the caliper down, place everything back on, and that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you learned a little something. I'm gonna go ahead and patch everything back up, and my sister will be here to pick this up. So see you guys in the next one.